we were just listening to the stories about the competitions, and I asked her if she wanted to do competitions. She said no, she doesn't really like doing competitions because she doesn't like, or she doesn't like losing, and doesn't like how some people behave when they win. And we just sort of wondered how you dealt with that situation of losing.
It's a very good question. And I mean, I would admit I used to think a lot of it was about winning. When I was young, I used to love winning and I didn't like losing. And actually, I think as I got better at sport, I realized it was part of sport. And actually, with any of the people I coach now, I say it should be fun. And participating in any sport should be fun, but it is more fun when you win. And that way that sort of comes around is learning how to lose and how to then bottle that feeling, to remember it, to maybe think about what you could do better next time, or how you've performed is far more important than the actual winning or losing. I had a conversation with Steve Redgrave after the Olympics in Sydney, and Steve had just won his 5th Olympic gold medal. So he'd become, but actually I think it was one of the questions on here, he'd become at the time Britain's greatest ever Olympian, and Steve had always been about winning. And so anyway, I asked him, and we were just about waiting in the airport on the way to come home. I said, okay, Steve, if the end wasn't if we'd ended up not winning, would you go back and rewind these last 4 years and do it again? And I fully expected him to say no, because I say he was all about winning, and yeah, you'd play him at cards and he'd want to win. Play him at golf and he'd definitely want to win. But Steve actually turned around and said, yes, he would rewind and do it again. Because actually he'd realized at that point, at the end of the journey, that it was the journey that had been the real kind of excitement to him. And actually the fact that he'd done so much and we'd achieved so much that ultimately, if the Italians had been faster, we give them credit and say, well, actually, well done, because we sat on the start line in Sydney as good as we could possibly be. Like, we were as prepared as we were going to be. We were as fit as we were ever going to be. We had the opportunity to race the race as well as we ever could. And if someone else had gone faster, you would have to congratulate them. And that's me saying it, having practiced 18,000 times and spent 4 years of my life doing it. And coming back then to about it being fun, it is more fun when you win, because actually it's not, when I look back at this, and I could show you this at the moment, I do have an Olympic gold medal to show. When I look at this, it's not the sort of 556.24 that comes into it. It's the feeling of having done everything that I possibly could to win it, and to realize that actually, yeah, this is the sort of a nice memento, or it's a nice token, but really what gives me pride is the feeling of having really put 100% of myself into that. I don't know, actually, was it come out with the camera? Might get a bit shiny, but
oh, that's perfect.
So that's what an Olympic gold medal looks like. So Olympics have got more competitive since, and now Olympic gold medals are getting bigger and bigger as the Olympics go on. So I haven't seen the ones from Tokyo, but the front design will be basically the same. So you've got Athena, you've got the Parthenon, and you'll have, actually I can't remember what Olympics now it is in Tokyo, but it'll be Olympiad Tokyo. It'll be interesting to see whether it says 2020 or 2021 on the front. I don't know. We shall find out next week. But then on the back, each Olympics has a different design. So in Sydney, they have the Olympic rings that are here. You've got silhouette of the Sydney Opera House. You've got the Olympic flame. And yeah, each Olympics can have the chance to design it differently. There's a space on this one where you could put your name. You could have your name engraved, but we all decided that we didn't want to have our names engraved, because actually it was our medal anyway, and I know it's mine. But ours does have the sport sort of written on it, sort of around the edge. Mine actually is well sort of worn and handled. Say it's 20 years old now, but as I say, it's a lovely memento. And probably when I was younger, I thought it was all about winning it, and that was what did help spur me on. But I guess with the benefit of hindsight, I realized it was It was so much more than that.